Alright, training vlog number 12. So today I just wanted to talk about training versus working out. The reason I did that is because I was doing a bit of training earlier today, working on opposing muscle groups that I haven't been using in CrossFit, or as much as the volume that I'd usually be doing with them, and just being mindful of how I'm programming my own training the past while. And then I was kind of thinking, working out versus training, being conscious of what you're doing in your own programming, but what I'm doing now and trying to analyse it and trying to filter, I suppose, what I want to do and what I have to do. So when I go to CrossFit 3 times a week, it's usually a Monday, a Wednesday and a Friday. Whatever's written on that board I'm going to do. Whatever's written on, for the workout of the day. But at the same time, training, it's progressive. It's something that I'm trying to do to back up one of my goals is being as strong as I can, obviously peak performance, as in terms of resistance training and most compound lifts. So I suppose that made me mindful of what are you doing, what are you training or working out, and people can get caught up in that the whole time. I've seen people, especially if they sign up for a coaching plan, I want an overlapping goal. It's okay fair enough if you want to lose a bit of weight or you want to put on a bit of muscle or something like that, but you have to have a specific goal even then to go more into the detail of why you want to do that, or where would you want to build up. Usually it's lower body for women, and then for males it's just kind of upper body build up, big chest, big arms, things like that, for aesthetic purposes, if it's not performance based, that is. And that involves training. So keeping in mind when you're actually programming for yourself, try not to work out too much if you're working towards a certain performance goal or aesthetic goal. Training is where it's progressive, it's planned, it's something that has an overlying purpose essentially, whereas working out, I went into CrossFit 3 times a week. I do it to just improve my overall fitness, but the cost of a workout on the body, it's very taxing on the body because you're going at full, I want to say it's near sprint pace. Depending on obviously the workout itself, but you are just working out for the sake of working out. The purpose behind it might be just to burn calories, to do something, to be active, to just be fit. But training actually has an underlying purpose that you're going to do it to progress to something. There is an end goal in sight. Someone training for a 10k or someone training for a marathon, they're not going to run a marathon every day. That's the workout. That's the workout of itself. But you're not going to do that in training every day, or you're gonna, you're obviously going to get injured and things like that. You do it in progressive things, and you build up your mileage during the weeks, and then you eventually to the peak thing, you're actually going to do the marathon itself. Then you will use all that prior training to actually do what the goal was. And same with training for weights. If you're wanting to get stronger, you don't just go in for a 1 rep max every day just to see, can I improve on that lift. You train on lower weights and then you progress your way up to working up to a 1 rep max or 3 rep max or whichever one you want. If it's powerlifting you're after, that'd be kind of the goal. Depending on things like bodybuilding, of course, there's different training parameters to apply for that. It's not so much working out. And there's different things you have to keep in mind like that. Make sure there is a purpose behind your training. You're not just going into the gym or doing workout or doing a run just for the sake of doing it, just for the sake of a workout. And I would always advise training over working out, especially if you have a long-term goal, obviously, because that is the reason I just said why it's important to train the body at a percentage of what the end goal should be. And if you're just working out for the sake of working out, that's fine. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with working out at the same time. If you're working out just to get fitter or just to be active or just to, get a sweat on, then you can do that. But, realise that it's not the same thing. And that if you're working out 3 or 4 times a week and you're doing something like, say, CrossFit, where you are given something to do in a certain amount of time or a certain amount of reps, and you're exerting yourself very hard, your body's going to take extra time to recover from that, and that's what I'm saying with my programming, that I'm trying to find opposing muscle groups that haven't been worked, because the ones that have been worked in the workout have been stressed to near maximum because I've been working at either a sprint pace or working at a very heavy weight just to get the workout done, get the numbers done on the board, whatever is asked of me, I'm trying to do it. But at the same time, I have to be conscious of letting those muscles recover in the meantime and use opposing muscle groups to stimulate them optimally during the week as well. So I'd always give between 48 to 72 hours on major muscle groups that you have, say, worked out. Training same as well, but like, you know, you can do bench 3-4 days in a row. For an example, like, you know, some people say, you know, between training you need 2 to 3 days, 48 to 72 hours for the muscles to recover. And that's true to the extent that if you want them working at the like optimal amount that you want to, you know, go back into the training, you want to lift that weight or progressively overload that weight. But to maintain it, and still it's possible to progressively overload the weight to a certain extent if you want to train it every day. Like, that's why I'm doing squats every day, you know, it's still possible to do that. Is it optimal? That's questionable down to the recovery and depending on how you feel. You know, it's different to every person, so I'm not going to give it's very subjective to give a one size fits all answer to that. You kind of have to figure it out for yourself, whether you're able for it, whether it actually benefits you, because you look up styles like 5x5 and German volume training, and they very much like rely on consistently hitting the muscle on a very, very consistent basis. You won't get that 48 to 72 hours in between. You are just working that muscle consistently and that movement consistently to get better at it. So there's things you have to kind of consider and factor in to appeal to whatever goal you're going for. But yeah, I just don't want to ramble on too long anyway. I want to keep it nice and short, that the difference between training and working out, be conscious of what you're doing, why you're doing it, and don't just, you know, go work out or train if you don't have an underlying goal behind it, because then you won't know what you're doing it for. And you're likely not going to be conscious of things like, you know, working opposing muscle groups or your recovery and things like that. You're kind of just, you know, moving to be moving, and it won't like that. If you don't have a target to aim for, you're not going to know what to hit. So you kind of have to have, you know, a good idea of what you're doing, and then go from there depending on what goal you have. So I'll leave it at that, and I'll catch you in the next vlog.